it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. This is the place where women over 60 come to be inspired. And my guest today is Pam Krueger. Pam is a financial and investing expert. She is an author and television personality, co-host of the PBS show Money Track, and also created a really cool online tool called Wealth Ramp, which basically connects consumers with fiduciary advisors. So welcome to the show, Pam.
Thanks, Margaret. Great to be back.
It's lovely to have you here. I'm so happy to have an expert on financial issues because I think you know 60 and Me we have a pretty big community of women over 50. Many of them have retired or are certainly planning it. And just thinking about how on earth they're going to manage this transition. So one of the things that I wanted to chat with you about was whether or not you should pay off your mortgage. And just pay off the mortgage and have the extra cash flow, or do something else. And I would really like your opinion on this.
Okay, all right.
Because you are the expert, you know.
Let's dig into this, shall we?
Okay.
This is a question that so many people have.
Yeah.
Now, the idea that you're even in a position to ask the question. My gosh, How fortunate.
That's so true.
To be in a position to ask the question, hey, should I pay off my mortgage entirely and live debt-free and completely own my house? Or should I invest that savings that I could have put toward my mortgage and pay it off instead? What a wonderful position to be in. Yes, and I hope we all wind up in that position asking this question one day. So we're going to answer this in two different ways. We're going to use our financial money head first, our money minds. Okay, so on the finance side, the pros to, basically paying off your mortgage and getting it done, if you're already still working or your spouse is still working, and you know that you can afford to take a big, huge chunk of your savings. I don't know if it's $150,000 or it's $200,000 by then. I don't know if it's the first marriage or second marriage or what. But if you've got the money because you're still working and you know you're going to be able to replenish your savings as you go, then yes, you could consider taking a nice chunk and paying down that mortgage and being done with it. Because first of all, if you have another 15 or 20 years to go on your mortgage, guess what? You're saving thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in future money and interest. And then, really when you think about it, the money that you're not paying out anymore in interest, that 3, 4, or 5% on your mortgage becomes the return that you're guaranteed to get on that savings now. Mm-hmm. Because now you're not paying it. It's not coming out of your pocket. Therefore, it's in your pocket.
Yeah. And there's something psychological too about it, about getting it out of the way. Like it's been your one big debt all your married life or all your single life. And then just to have that opportunity, I've got a chance now to get rid of it. So there's a psychological element of, thank goodness.
That's why I said answer this with both the financial and then I'm going to answer with the emotional.
Right.
So jump over to the emotional side, just like you just mentioned, because that's exactly where your mind went, because that's where everyone's mind goes. All the pros I just gave you on the money and the financial side, woohoo, times 100, because now you're going to be paying off your mortgage and you're going to feel like $1 billion, like freedom. And I mean, what feels better than saying, guess what? I don't have a mortgage. I own my house. It just doesn't it just intuitively feel like you're supposed to do that, and it feels more secure. Yeah. But now I'm going to tell you the reasons why you don't want to do it.
Okay.
Right? So it depends on how much longer you plan to stay in the house. Depends on how much longer you have on the life of your mortgage. Yeah. So, if your savings is a little bit kind of, iffy, but you have that psychological, emotional need to say, we have enough money saved. I have enough money saved. I just want to get it over with. Mm-hmm. I just want to pay down that mortgage and not have it anymore. Financially, that might be the worst thing you could do. So I'll give you an example. Okay. I have a good friend, a couple, and she works really hard. He's retired. And they got to that point, that critical point where they went, we can do it. We can pay off our mortgage. Right. So they did.
Yes, and?
Guess what? Instead of freedom,
Yeah.
they're trapped because now all their money is in their house. And even though they plan on staying there the rest of their lives, all their money's in their house. So all that freedom, like travel, security, they are worried now that, we can't do half the things we could do when we had this money, knowing we had it in savings, even though she's king. So that's a consideration both on the emotional side and on the financial side.
It's a really good point, actually. I think that a lot of women, though, particularly see mortgages, see owning their home as something that's really, like you said, the thing you do. And a lot of women in their the women in their 60s are actually, we're actually working on what we were trained and taught as a young person ourselves. I mean, we're not from your generation. I mean, what I mean to say that the age makes a difference, really, but it's the psychology of pay off your house and then you've achieved something.
It just feels so darn secure.
But you're right. Where's the money then? Yeah, you have to keep working.
Yeah, and then put yourself into a different emotional state because now you just don't have the money you need. Now, speaking of getting out of debt, what if you have credit cards outstanding to the tune of $50,000 or $75,000 and you pay off your house? That's not. You've got to look at your other debt first. Say, if you have other debt, pay off that more expensive debt first because your mortgage is probably your least expensive. So retire it only after you've done that. And then the other thing is you've got to be looking at, could you be getting higher returns on that savings by investing it really well in a diversified portfolio that earns you more than 3% or 4% after taxes? And then finally, the last thing is really, truly, if you know you're not going to live in your house for the rest of your life, you're 65, let's say, and you think you're going to move in 5 years, why pay it off? You're saddling yourself. You want to look and say, okay, how much mortgage do I really have left? And if you're going to move, just keep the mortgage and then maybe buy your next house and downsize.
I was going to say downsize, yeah.
The other financial consideration there too is that you could be giving up a big tax break because if you do have a long life on your mortgage and you do have that interest deduction, I mean, I take mine every year. It's $20,000.
Yeah, it's a good point.
That's $20,000 off my top line income.
Yeah, it's a good point.
If I lose that benefit, I want to think about what I'm giving up to get it. So here's my recommendation. Talk to a CPA and run some scenarios because guess what, Margaret, there's software that can run these scenarios, these what ifs, and compare scenario A, pay off, to scenario B, don't pay off. And yes, there are calculators online, but they're not, they're good starting points, but they could be misleading. I don't love free calculators that are just out there online. So what I recommend is to sit down with a CPA, take the time. It's totally, really, really serious. Spend an hour of time with a CPA and let the CPA use their really powerful software to run a very specific what if scenario. And then you're going to know with certainty about the financial side, and then you can decide if you want to make your decision emotionally.
Good point. So, Pam, you have this tool that maps or matches consumers with fiduciary advisors. You're saying here that that's not the person; it's a CPA that they should be talking. It's an accountant rather than a fiduciary advisor. No,
a really good fiduciary advisor who's on my platform, for example, is going to have a team of people,
including a CPA. Okay.
CPA. But if you had no one to go to at all, and if I had to suggest to you to go to someone first, even though I run a platform that matches people to fiduciary financial advisors, I would probably go to my CPA first.
Okay.
Because I want to see the tax, what I'm losing in taxes. I want to see everything on an after-tax basis.
Yeah.
So
WealthRamp, just so I can tell people about it, is it wealthramp.com?
WealthRamp.com.
Okay.
I created this, Margaret, because my audiences from the show kept telling me that they could not find the kinds of financial advisors I was describing who are fiduciary and who put your best interests first and who are not salespeople.
Yeah.
So you want to find someone who's not a salesperson, but actually a financial advisor. And the only people who are actual financial advisors are SEC or state registered, and they adhere to the fiduciary standard all the time, and they'll put it in writing.
Now, just to clarify, by the way, you were talking about United States. Right, because we have people in our community all over the world. So just so that you know, if you're watching the video and you're thinking about what you've been saying about some of the regulations, just be aware that we're talking from a United States perspective. Just for information.
But it actually does transfer
Does it?
over
Okay.
internationally as well. That you want to be looking for the same level of responsibility to you to put your best interest first. You want to know that all you care about is that legally the advisor has to put your interests first legally. I don't mean that's all you care about, but I say that's the first priority. Then you want to look at competency and qualifications, and it's complicated, and that's why I created my platform.
Well, I advise people to take a look. And where would they go if they wanted to find out more about what you do and your writing? Where's the best place for them to reach you?
Either pamkrueger.com or wealthramp.com. And we do have a brand new PBS special that will air in 2018 that explains what a fiduciary advisor is and what a broker does at a brokerage firm selling products and the difference between the two, especially over age 60. Especially for women.
This is so cool. I'm so glad that we've met you, because I'm going to ask you when that does come out. I mean, these videos will have been all released by then. So let us know then. We can update the information, because it's really important. And I'm so happy that we got the chance to chat with you. So thank you so much, Pam. I really appreciate it. Thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our 60andMe YouTube channel and also visit our website. We are a strong and dynamic community of women over 60. We're challenging aging stereotypes, and every day we share fascinating stories, interesting questions, and great conversation.